A really old-fashioned peach cobbler is always made with a pie crust.
Welcome to Homemade Cooking in Texas. I'm Carolyn Gibson from Dogwood Gardens, where homemade cooking is surprisingly easy, healthier for you and your family, saves money, and tastes great. Come join me today as I share my favorite recipes, and I hope they will become your favorite recipes. And don't forget, like and subscribe to my channel. A true old-fashioned peach cobbler starts with a pie crust. So I don't like the ones with the cake type toppings and all that. It really has to be made of a pie crust. Now I have my own homemade pie crust that I made, and there's a link in the description bar to my recipe for that. But you can certainly use store-bought pie crust if you want to. Now whether you're using canned peaches, fresh peaches, frozen peaches, you want to cook your peaches before you start them. Now I'm using four of these 15-ounce cans to start with. So I have washed and drained them, and I want to break them up in small pieces. We don't want big pieces in our cobbler. I don't want to have to eat my cobbler with a knife and a fork. I want to be able to eat it with a spoon. So I'm breaking these up in small pieces. Now peaches are naturally juicy, and you may be thinking that you need to add water when you're making a cobbler, but you do not. You're going to let the natural juices from the peaches form your juice. Well, a little bit of juice I've got going in there. So I'm going to set this to low heat. I have sugar, flour, cinnamon, and I'm just going to cook this until it's all nice and soft. Seems like every time you buy a store-bought cobbler, I don't know what kind of peaches they're using, but they're really hard. We grew up our peach cobbler, you ate it with a spoon, not a fork. So I'm going to cook this, let it get nice and bubbly and syrupy, and then I'll taste it and see if I need to adjust the sugar in it. Okay, you can see these peaches are bubbling up. Now, how long you cook them is really going to depend on, did you use frozen peaches, fresh peaches, canned peaches. With the canned peaches, they're just going to not have to cook quite as long because, of course, they've already been cooked. So I'm going to turn off the heat, and now I'm going to add some melted butter. And something you might not even think about putting in peach cobbler is vanilla flavoring. And I'm going to add a little vanilla flavoring, about a teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. I went to a farmer's market, and a person there had some jam she had made, and it was peach jam with vanilla in it. And I thought, boy, now that just really sets those peaches off. So I thought that would be a great addition to my peach cobbler. Okay, we've got this ready to go. Let me kind of get some of this stuff out of the way. Now I have a 9x9 square pan. You could use an 8x8 square pan. It would just make it a little deeper. If you bought a store-bought pie crust, which is going to be round, you'll probably want to use a round casserole dish. Okay, so I am just going to pour this in there. Kind of spread it out evenly. Can't believe what aroma that vanilla adds to that. Okay, now I'm ready to put my pie crust on. On the edges here. Now some people like to do a lattice work, but I just like to put the whole pie crust on there. And if you'll watch my other video making pie crust, you can see how much easier it is when you use this plastic wrap. Okay. It'll be kind of a... Of course, on a cobbler, you don't have to worry about how perfect it is. On a pie, I don't worry about how perfect it is. Just kind of, I like to make my pie crust a little bit thicker than I would for a pie when I'm doing a cobbler. Okay, I can just kind of put those little right there. I'm just gonna, I really don't want to do a flute or anything, so I'm just gonna kind of take the edges off here. And this little extra pie crust, I can put it in the refrigerator and use it later for something else. Now where I come from, a peach cobbler would not be a peach cobbler without a little butter and more cinnamon and sugar on top. So I'm just going to put some little holes there. Take my butter, spread my butter out. This is softened butter, so I can kind of get it on there. Need to sprinkle it with a little bit more sugar. So I'm just going to sprinkle that on there. And then top this off with some more cinnamon. Okay, now I've got a 350-degree oven that's been preheated. I'm going to put this in the oven. It's going to cook about 35 minutes. I want to keep an eye on it. I want to check it in about 30 minutes. I have my oven preheating at 350 degrees. Now I set my cobbler inside of another pan because these tend to bubble over, get all over the oven, and it's really hard to get them out of the oven safely. Okay, this took about 30 minutes. It's done. It looks wonderful. We're going to let this set at least 30 minutes. Even an hour would be better to let everything kind of cool down a little bit. But this will just taste great.
Thank you so much for joining me today at Homemade Cooking in Texas. These are my favorite recipes, and I hope they will become yours. Now, if you enjoy these recipes, please like and subscribe so you can see more of these type recipes. We have been making a full-time living here on our organic farm since 1991. We need your support to continue our small family farm by liking and subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much.